If you want to solve your money problems and build true financial freedom, you must understand one fundamental law. You are not going to get rich renting out your time. When you rent out your time, your inputs are very closely tied to your outputs. This means that when you are sleeping, you are not earning. When you are on vacation or when you are retired, your earning stops completely. You are essentially working for someone else who is taking on the risk, the accountability, and the brand. In return for taking all the risk, they will only pay you the bare minimum required to keep you doing the job. Worse, renting out your time means you are doing a set role, making you completely replaceable. Any set role that can be easily taught in a school will eventually face brutal competition from someone with newer knowledge. Eventually, these repetitive roles are guaranteed to be replaced, piece by piece, by a robot or an artificial intelligence. This dynamic keeps you trapped in what is essentially a modern form of wage slavery. As Nassim Taleb famously warned, the most dangerous things are heroin and a monthly salary. They are highly addictive because they offer a comfortable, steady stream of security. As your career slowly progresses, you unconsciously upgrade your lifestyle to match your rising salary. This constant lifestyle inflation keeps you locked inside the trap, unable to even fathom true freedom. To break this cycle, you must look for a career where your inputs and your outputs are highly disconnected. You want to operate in a domain where you can do 1 hour of work and it can have a massive non-linear effect. Take a traditional lumberjack using only a manual handsaw as an extreme example of connected inputs. The absolute best lumberjack in the world might be 3 times better than the worst, but they are still limited by physical hours. Now look at a modern software engineer who operates with massive leverage and tools. One brilliant engineer can write code that creates a revolutionary protocol like Bitcoin, creating billions of dollars of value. Meanwhile, an engineer working on the wrong thing can toil for 1,000 hours and have their work end up completely unused. This incredible gap is driven entirely by tools, leverage, and high creativity. To truly capture this nonlinear upside, you must own equity, a piece of a business, or intellectual property. Without owning a piece of the product, you simply do not have a financial stake in the upside. In any company, the employees get paid first because their salaries are legally guaranteed. But in exchange for that guaranteed security, employees give up almost all of the future upside. The equity holders, on the other hand, are paid last, only after all salaries and debts are fully cleared. This means equity holders take on significantly higher downside risk. But in exchange for that risk, they capture nearly unlimited financial upside. To scale your equity and build true wealth, you require leverage. As the ancient philosopher Archimedes famously said, "Give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, and I will move the earth." But our brains are not naturally evolved to comprehend the massive amount of leverage possible in modern society. There are 3 primary forms of business leverage: labor, capital, and products. The oldest form of leverage is labor, which simply means having other people work for you. Because we evolved in tribal structures, human society deeply overvalues managing other humans as a metric of credibility. However, managing people is incredibly messy, highly competed over, and requires supreme leadership skills. Labor is actually the worst form of leverage you can use, and you should seek the minimum amount necessary. The second form of leverage is capital, which has been the dominant force of wealth creation in the last century. Managing capital is much cleaner and scales much better than managing large groups of messy people. If you can manage $1 billion and consistently earn a 30% return, society will throw infinite money at you. However, both labor and capital share a massive bottleneck. They are strictly permissioned. To get labor leverage, someone must actively choose to follow your commands. To get capital leverage, a wealthy gatekeeper or investor must choose to give you their money. To obtain this permission, You must first spend years building specific knowledge and high public accountability. But the third form of leverage is the most interesting and powerful: products with no marginal cost of replication. This started with the printing press, accelerated with broadcast media, and has completely exploded with coding. Now you can multiply your efforts instantly without needing permission or money from anyone else. Recording a podcast, writing software, or uploading a video requires zero external gatekeepers. This is a highly egalitarian form of leverage because the exact same product is accessible to a poor person or a billionaire. Furthermore, these digital assets have zero marginal cost of reproduction. This means that serving your millionth customer or listener costs you absolutely nothing extra. A software developer or creator literally has a massive army of robots working for them while they sleep. These robots aren't physical humanoids. They are lines of code packed inside cold servers in giant data centers. Coding is a supreme superpower because it allows you to speak the exact language of this digital army. By mastering code or media, you build assets that scale exponentially without your physical presence. To bring all of these concepts together, Naval uses a simple two-word mnemonic: productize yourself. The productize part is about learning to apply scale and leverage to your output. The yourself part is about maintaining your absolute uniqueness and accountability. You build this uniqueness by doubling down on your specific knowledge. Specific knowledge is the highly creative or technical talent found by pursuing your genuine curiosity. It cannot be taught in a school, but it is built through observation and hard apprenticeships. Because specific knowledge feels like play to you, but looks like work to others, you have no competition. As Naval advises, escape competition through authenticity. When you specialize in being yourself, absolutely no one on earth can compete with you. You combine this authenticity with a powerful skill stack where you are in the top 25 percentile at several things. The ultimate skill stack is learning how to build and learning how to sell. If you can do both, you will be completely unstoppable in the modern world. Once you identify your unique, specific knowledge, you take on high personal accountability. Accountability means taking risks publicly under your own name, letting society reward you with equity. With accountability, you build the credibility required to attract capital and labor leverage. Then you layer on code or media leverage to scale your unique identity 1,000,000 times over. At this point, making money is no longer a separate painful struggle. Instead, it becomes a natural, positive sum function of exactly who you are. So stop renting out your time, build your specific knowledge, and productize yourself.